Hello there, Ben here. Just a quick update on the 30 breeder rebuild. It is now day 11 from initial startup, and you can see that my diatom bloom is in full swing. For those of you who are just starting out, who are now following, I had a couple of comments on the last video saying that they were going to follow. This is one of the stages of setting up a reef tank or any saltwater tank, or any fish tank for that matter, for the cycle period. But usually about day 7 or so till about day 20 you should be getting a diatom bloom, and that is this brown algae that will start to appear on everything: the sand, the rocks, the glass, if I can get it. Yep, right there. It's not bad. It's not gonna harm anything. You don't have to freak out. It might be startling to you, but it will be on everything, as you can see, all over the sand bed, all over the rock. It's just part of the cycle. Every new aquarium for saltwater has to get microbacteria growing on stuff, and some of that stuff is diatoms, one of the very first life forms in a saltwater aquarium or even in the ocean. So that's what to expect within that time frame. You don't have to worry. Usually about day 15 to day 20, depending on how bad your cycle is, depending on if you got good rock or bad rock or uncured or live sand or dead sand. It all varies. No exact determination of how bad your diatom bloom will be. I've had them where it was just a little bit here and there, patchy on the sand. This is actually a pretty good one. And then all of a sudden it was done. But sometimes I've had it last up to 3 weeks long, depending on how bad your rock is, if there was a lot of death or something like that. So this one seems to be a pretty nice one. So about day 15, day 20 is when you would be adding a cleanup crew to this. Cleanup crew consists of a couple hermit crabs, preferably red scarlet hermit crabs, and blue-legged hermit crabs. You can get away with some of those brown-legged ones or whatnot, whatever works for you at your local pet store, whatever you can afford. Preferably you want some blue-legged hermit crabs and some scarlet red-legged hermit crabs. So it's nothing to worry about. If you don't get a cleanup crew, it's not the end of the world. It will eventually burn off with water change after probably day 25, day 30. Should do a 10 to 15% water change on the system anyways before you add livestock. And also make sure you're testing your water parameters. Like in ammonia, check it every 5 or so days to watch it as a newbie. And then also check your nitrite, which is next. But you want to check all these just to follow it and document it so you can see. And then your nitrate, which is the end process, that is what becomes safe for fish under a certain level. Can't let it get too high, like 50. I wouldn't get it over 50. But chances are then you would have an algae problem, and then you wouldn't be able to trace your nitrates. So this is the beginning stages. This is day 11 for me. You can see how nice the diatom bloom is. So in a couple of days I would be adding a cleanup crew, but I have some bad news now. I just found out last night that I am moving again. So, and this has to come down by this weekend. It's now Wednesday. I got 3 days to get rid of it, unfortunately, because the place that I am moving only allows a 10-gallon tank total water volume. This is 50 gallons total water volume, including the sump filtration in the back. So I'm going to be setting up a planted tank series in about a month and a half, once I get established and moved in. So keep an eye for that if you want. It'll be a dirted planted tank. So it'll be a learning process for me because I've never had a planted tank. My sister's had freshwater, but I always struggled with it. So this is going to be a new challenge for me to keep freshwater. So as soon as I got the news, I was like, okay. Posted on the forum, everything for like rock bottom prices. I'm losing money off of all the investment money. Rock $1 a pound. That's already been bought. So it's like 50 pounds. It's going to a school actually for their science, bioscience. The corals are going over to Tiny Giant, or Chris, the main administrator of NewHampshireFragSwap.com. He's getting some of the corals. I'm also giving him a couple of these flat pieces as payment because he's asked for those. But I'll also probably give him some money here and there to hold on to the corals until I can figure some way out to set up a new tank somewhere. But just wanted to show you all the diatom bloom and what to expect. And also, sorry I won't be able to finish this series or the documentation of setting up a new saltwater reef tank because I have to tear it down by this weekend. Very frustrating, but comes with life. So I'm not out of the hobby for good, just taking a break with the circumstances that have been dealt to me. So, and I don't have any control because I am not the one who is on the lease. I am just living here with my wife, with her parents-in-law, or with my parents-in-law, my bad. So here's where we are. This is what you can expect when you are building a reef tank. But it's coming down and I'm getting ready to deliver the rock within another hour and the corals within 2 hours. But the fish I still have in the tank upstairs, so I still have them. But if I can't sell them by Friday or Saturday, depending on what the pet store that I'll be going to trade them for store credit, that's where they are. If you're in New Hampshire or Massachusetts even, or Maine or Vermont, and you are willing to take a trip over to Portsmouth area or Dover, Rochester, New Hampshire, log on to NewHampshireFragSwap.com and you can find me on there, Ben Border, just like on here, and message me. I have a link on there already under buy and sell stuff. So I have the fish on there as a pair, both sets, separate pairs, rock bottom prices, and I haven't decided if I'm going to keep the sand or sell it yet. So if you also want to buy the sand, give me a price. It's 50 pounds live sand / cycling sand at the moment. So if you want some sand at a dirt cheap price, message me, give me an offer, and hopefully I can get back to you on time. So like I said, everything that's accounted for is the rock has been sold, the corals are taken care of. Keeping everything else. The filtration are the sump. I have 2 of them. I'll be selling probably both of them and rebuilding a new one whenever I get a chance to set up a new tank. So, unfortunately, that's where this series ends. But this is what you can expect for up to this stage, unfortunately. So, don't worry if you have this and you're freaking out. It's just diatoms. If it's red, it's cyanobacteria, and it's going to take a little while. You'll have to do a few water changes with RODI water and not tap water.